feel like people are too scared of the IRS or anybody that has anything to do with our funds. Like, they're like, oh, they spend the money. It is what it is. No, it's not what it is. What it is.
Well, also it's because the IRS does go after you, and they can freeze all your assets, and they can do a whole bunch of things.
You know what else they can't freeze? Crypto assets.
It's hard to make that statement. Talk about like the things you use. Like they can shut your water off.
They could definitely make your life a little bit harder. They can't shut your water off.
I don't think about harder. I think they can make your life a living hell.
If you pay for water, they just shut your water off?
Son, it's the IRS. I don't know what they can and can't do anymore. They got guns.
That's ridiculous. Why do they have guns? What type of world does that make sense? Welcome back, everybody, to another week.
So another week
of your favorite crypto podcast.
Sometimes crypto.
The Unscripted
Crypto podcast. Hey,
yo. Drinking my coffee. It's early in the morning. Changing it up.
It's not that early anymore, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not that early, but it is early morning. I'm not in the normal studio. Somewhere else. So, markets are recuperating a little bit. It's not as bad as it was last week. And I think that's a pretty good thing. Most would say, right?
We hit 65,000 and some change. We did not last long there. We did not last very long there, but we did hit it.
Also true.
We tickled it. We gave it a little tickle. I will say that.
There were reports of increased like labor shortage, workforce unemployment, and the Federal Reserve does not seem like it's going to be dropping rates anytime soon.
They said it.
Yep. So it looks like inflation might still be a thing that people have to worry about, and therefore, I think that's overall decent news for like people in the markets. They expect those bags to pump. I think that's kind of what happened with Bitcoin.
What? Now you just confused me. How did we go from rate cuts are good to no rate cuts are good?
Rate cuts are good for spending of the economy, but I don't necessarily think that has anything to do with like Bitcoin specifically. Like seeing how there's a hard asset fixed amount. It shows like it could still be a stable alternative to the current dollar. Therefore, I think that's kind of like what gave it a little bit of push this little like leg up. Granted, I'm not saying it's good for the U.S. economy. I'm just saying Bitcoin saw some short little benefit from that.
I wouldn't say that, but sure.
I think you've been saying that often. I feel like me and you have been sitting on.
Dog is like, I don't know, man. The economic views you give or not
sitting on opposing sides lately.
Because the economic view you give, in my opinion, is like not accurate to a degree.
It's always to a degree. It's never. At least I get that much. It's not straight up out wrong in your right up.
No.
Wrong in your point of view.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're out or you're right out. Outright, you're not outright wrong.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's.
But I wouldn't say that's the reason it gave that push up happened.
Okay. So what did give?
I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't say that.
What would you say gave Bitcoin this little leg up, and like, just gave it a little bit to recuperate from this major red week we saw last week?
I think it's ETF outflows with no inflows.
That's what caused the red last week.
I would say that would. I can't say you can never say one thing causes a red dump either or because there's more factors than that. right? I would say it's definitely a factor, right? If you have, let me pull it up. If you have you have 5 days almost. Yeah. You have 6 to 5 days of close to zero inflows, only outflows. Price has to take a hit.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because of demand pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I would say the price bounce is partially, I would say, dovish news from the Fed mixed with Bitcoin whales buying 46,000 worth of 46,000 Bitcoin over that same time frame, give or take a few Bitcoin. It could be 43,000.
Bitcoin's
actually. I'm not gonna
buying?
say 43. It could be. Yeah.
Who bought some that?
I said whales. I don't know. Wallets. It just shows wallets.
MicroStrategy added to their bag. I know MicroStrategy added.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
holds more than.
Yeah,
they hold more than some.
He holds more than the United States government right now. You know, large bags for MicroStrategies. So I decided to turn on my lava lamp right before this episode, and I've had it on for an hour and a half actually.
Mm-hmm.
And now is when it's starting to liquefy. But
they take a while.
They do take a while, Mike. Right, I switched up CoinMarketCap 2 times already, and for some reason it's not opening up for me.
What do you want from CoinMarketCap?
No, just to have it up. I like having things easily accessible.
Yeah, so Bitcoin whales in the last in the last 2 weeks, last 7 days really, scooped up 47,000 Bitcoin.
Oh wow, yeah, pretty sizable amount of Bitcoin then.
That's like 2.6 billion. So that's what I mean with the recovery is more due to the fact of crypto investors buying, and then the retail ETF not buying, just selling.
Mm-hmm. I see. Basically, supply and demand principles taking place then.
Mixed with us getting confirmation from the Fed essentially saying there's only one rate cut really in at this point, from the way it feels like, because they're saying inflation is being sticky, that it doesn't want to budge, so they're going to keep maybe not increase rates, but leave rates higher longer. And worst case scenario, they can always just drop the rate 1% or 2 if they really want to,
or raise it.
I don't think they will do it like that
if they want to.
Huh?
Or raise it if they want to. Also,
they could go to zero. Also, yeah,
they can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever, but I doubt they will do that. I'm more so on the camp of they'll leave it the same. In my humble opinion, I could be wrong, but that's my take. That's for now, by the way. This can change depending on inflation reports as time progresses.
Yeah, of course. 6 months from now, that whole stance could be completely different.
6 months? You're going far. 3 weeks, bro. Next meeting. Next meeting, they could go, hey, inflation's been moving, actually. Never mind. I take it back.
It's a little long for it to...
Yeah, so I just saw a report from Bitcoin Magazine. 595 million inflows in the last 2 trading days of Bitcoin ETFs after a week of outflows. Yeah, there's your number.
Last week.
That's why. But yeah, so we'll see what happens on that front.
I think
Bitcoin things.
I think
recently, we're already covering ETFs every episode.
We're literally covering ETFs every episode, straight up.
God darn it!
What happened?
Alts are primed. Alts are ready. Alts bounced. AI tokens moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen AI.
Render's
doing good.
Render went from that bottom. I'll tell you how much is doing good. From that downward, that same wick went from $6.87. It moved up 55% to a peak of 1084 in that same time frame.
Wow.
Yeah, it's moving. AI tokens are moving. I mainly said Render because I have Render, but Arweave, another token I also hold, did a very similar move as well. But yeah, AI tokens are moving. GRT also did a really good bounce as well. which is another AI narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that specifically the AI tokens are the ones that are pumping so much.
Apple had some AI news coming out. Nvidia's earnings, I think, is not this week. Nvidia earnings is this month on the 20-something of May. So that's gonna play a factor in it as well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of AI news coming out like that, specifically Nvidia and Apple, two of the largest companies out there. I can see why AI tokens would be pumping.
Yeah, Arweave, that same exact move, did 61%. It's currently sitting at 48% up from that Bitcoin's bottom wick to now. Which, to be fair, very bullish on Bitcoin and all these other tokens, because they just got scooped up. They went from that 56 something to 57,000, all the way back up to closing the weekly candle above last week. So extremely bullish.
Extremely bullish. That's good news. Bro, that render pump was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't buy them now. They've already pumped up too much. You gotta if you hold them, own them, essentially, pretty much at this point. But if you hold them, you're doing good right now.
Yeah, yeah. If you've already hold those tokens, you're pretty good. You've recovered your losses and then some. Right, and then some. Depends on when you got in.
What you should be depending when you buy, you should be up by now.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't buy none of their peaks, you should be up.
You should be up.
If you didn't buy any of their peaks, Render is near its all-time high at this point. Yeah, Render's all-time high is 13.5.
Oh yeah, it's getting there then.
So you should be. If you bought its all-time high, you're not far from catching up. But if you bought those dips down and all that, you should be in profit on Render, on Arweave.
Was that all-time high from the last cycle? Or
no,
is that something recent?
That's new. That's after Bitcoin hit its all-time high, give or take. Other tokens are from prior all-time high. Like Arweave has an all-time high way higher than that, but Render's I wouldn't say fairly new, but it's not. It came out after last bull run.
Oh, did it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out 2022. Feb.
Okay, yeah.
So after the bull run. So this is Render's first bull run. But yeah, lots of tokens. A lot of things are still in like buying zones. But yeah, I would say one of the ones I like, Pyth, is somewhat in a buying zone. I'm waiting on Pyth just because they do have a whatchamacallit. They have a token unlock coming up this month, May 22nd. They have a token unlock, so I would hold off on that just to be on the safe side. But it's currently sitting at 53 cents. It's still, in my humble opinion, in a good spot to dollar cost average if you don't have any. I don't see too much more downside because it's oversold on its weekly time frame. Well, not too much info on the weekly, but on the daily, it's coming back up now. So someone in a buying zone to dollar cost if you don't have any. Start a position, I wouldn't buy right now just because it is losing a 786 on the shorter time frame. You can probably wait, have a lower order. Tongue twister there. A lower order around like 48, 49 just to get started. And then like a good 786 on a Fibonacci would be like 42 from like the lows to the highs. But if you even look at all-time high, it's $1.14. So I would say there's not a whole lot of room for downside right now, unless Bitcoin bombs, which in that case, Nothing much you can do there.
Everyone's bleeding if Bitcoin bums.
Yeah, exactly. Phantom is not in a terrible position to buy some at this current level. You can always wait for a little lower, even though it is kind of getting to that completely oversold on the weekly time frame. So it's very near an investment entry for the long term. Just that a lot of the shorter time frame RSIs from the weekly down basically are oversold for the most part. So there's some room to go down. Take that with consideration, of course. So you can probably buy some here now, and if it goes a little lower, buy a little more. I wouldn't buy your full position at this point, just to be on the safe side. You can always hold off a little bit.
Yeah, and then
that
hopefully DCA it a little bit.
DCA a little bit. Some other tokens, I mean, just outright say it's another L1. It's performed really well. It came out August of 2023, all-time high, which it touched it for a second. It was $1.10, and it's currently down. It's right now where it's sitting. It's currently down 52%.
Oh wow!
So you can start nibbling at it. It's in the middle of no man's land between like a 786 and stuff, but you can buy starter position now if it goes down a little lower. Also, this is long-term view. If it's short-term view, you can't buy right now just because it is a no man's land. You would want to buy where there is some support. Mm-hmm. So you would want to buy a little lower, closer to like the 40 cents, 45 cents, 40 cents.
For a little bit of a shorter position.
Yeah. Long-term view though, buying at 54 cents, it goes down to 45 cents, 44 cents. You don't care
buy some
as
more,
much.
Yeah.
You'll buy some more at that range pretty much. Again, this is all based on Bitcoin holding that 63,000. Mm-hmm. But those are some, like those three. If you like TIA, I got rid of some of my TIA at a loss because fuck that shit. But TIA, they've done a full 100 degree. It's done a full 180. It's gone all the way up and it's gone all the way back down.
Oh wow!
Like if you like TIA and you like that market, it's down 52%.
I'm assuming you're not getting back into TIA anytime soon.
No. You know, I just realized we could have been sharing the screen for this whole time.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Boo.
We're still getting used to this whole remote setup, working separately.
Because it's easier to see it than to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Seeing it definitely makes a world of a difference.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, but now we know for next time.
Also, not investment advice. This is just like what we're looking at. What I'm looking at, not what I'm looking at more so.
Yeah, I just asked you a question.
Yeah.
Just based off of like technical analysis. What's it looking like? Because obviously, it's like you said, this is all on the basis that Bitcoin holds at 63,000 and doesn't take another dump anytime soon. Because if Bitcoin dumps, they all dump. So
for the most part, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are a lot of tokens that are newer tokens that haven't pumped up again since they're like their peak prices. Which, for example, Manta, it's a. I can't tell you the fundamentals of it because I don't know them. This is more of a. It was a longer term trade. Now I'm like bleeding on it. I didn't buy at this price, but peak price was $4 a couple of weeks back. You're currently sitting at $1.70, 57%.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a large difference.
Can it go down further? It can, but we don't have any information on it, so it's harder to track it.
Because it's
really,
too new of a token.
Being honest, it's too new of a token. Mm-hmm. But do what you with that information. We'll screen share next time, we promise.
Yeah, next time. next time. So you
But
mentioned you mentioned something earlier about like how the SEC isn't helping the crypto market out in any way, shape, or form. And I think it's just because they are really, really trying to show whatever they can to say that they rule over the space, that they have jurisdiction.
Before we get into that, just to cover this, and then we won't talk about Bitcoin for the rest of the rest of the episode. Pretty much, I hope.
Unlikely.
We're currently sitting at a point in the market where we have about 8 billion in liquidations if Bitcoin reaches that 71,700 level again. Meaning, there's a lot of positions that are shorting right now because they feel the market's going to go down. Will get liquidated once Bitcoin hits that 71,000 level.
We're not far.
I just wanted to throw that tidbit. No,
we're not far from that.
Yeah.
Just like what, $8,000 away, 7,000.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah,
Just wanted to throw that
somewhere
up
between.
before we. Alrighty, continuing now to the SEC.
So yeah, the SEC is just like really desperately trying to show that they have jurisdiction over the crypto market, and they've been issuing Wells notices left and right the entire month of April, and well, they just started this month again with another Wells notice. Yesterday they served one to RobinHood Crypto. They're specifically like their crypto division within RobinHood.
Yeah.
And they're saying that they are going to pretty much take actions against RobinHood for operating as a selling unregistered securities.
Is that what? Or I thought it was because they were working as a clearinghouse.
That wasn't that. I think that was with Coinbase a while ago, last year.
No, they say Coinbase is an exchange. They say no. They say
yeah. So they're alleging.
they say Coinbase is a broker dealer.
Okay. Yeah, they are alleging security violations. I don't see specifically what it was.
I'm gonna quick share my screen for you. So there's a tweet from Clinton. He is a tax advisor, pretty much, tax expert for crypto, more so than anything else. So this is what he says. I'm going to read the whole thing, just because.
He's a tax advisor for who?
For crypto. He's a crypto tax advisor with his own
Okay.
company called Crypto Tax Audit. Like, they only handle high, like, just crypto. That's their niche. It's all crypto. It's all anything to do with that. Heavy trading, low trading. They know the whole deal of that. So from what he wrote and what he says here is Section 17A of the Securities Exchange Act pertains to the rules governing the clearing and settlement of securities transaction. Violations of this sanction may involve issues related to the processing and settlement of trades. So it's like the clearing of it. But you guys go ahead and read it. It is there. This is the dude.
Well, we'll make sure to add the link in the description.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, they were just hit with one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They weren't the first ones. They're not going to be the last ones. Consensus got hit last month, and so did Unisawp. We talked about Consensus. I don't think we mentioned Uniswaps.
No. Or briefly.
So now, actually today, there's actually going to be a hearing for the SEC. So if you guys are watching this, maybe search it up. It's titled SEC Enforcement: Balancing Deterrence with Due Process. And they're likely going to be talking about crypto and all the Wells notices that are taking place that have been sent out. So this representative actually, his House Majority Whip, Tom Emmer from Minnesota, he tweeted yesterday, replying to a CoinDesk tweet, talking about the Wells notice sent to Robinhood. He goes, regulation by intimidation. So this guy's has been noted as one of the crypto forward advocate within the Congress, within the government, and he's going to be leading the hearing today with, I think it's a former SEC chair for like internet laws. Let's see if I can find that. But yeah, they're not. They're not going to be interviewing Gary Gensler or someone else.
No. Okay.
No, it's Office of Internet Enforcement Chief John Reed Stark. But he's not the current officer. He was a former. The former Office of Internet Enforcement Chief. And according to this article on The Block, they expect him to testify that the lawmakers at the SEC are enforcing the law and not, quote unquote, regulating by enforcement.
Yeah.
Which is not what this guy said. This Tom Emmer said regulation by intimidation. But like I mentioned earlier, it seems like the SEC is just grasping at whatever chance they can to say that crypto falls within their domain, and that it needs to be regulated.
Yeah. So this is a tweet. Well, a tweet with a screenshot from Crypto Man Ran from Banter. The picture shows Unisawp. We don't exchange anything. SEC. No, you're an exchange. Coinbase. We are an exchange. SEC. No, you're a broker dealer. RobinHood. We are a broker dealer. SEC. No, you're a clearing agency. So like, they're all saying like they're like one thing or the other, and then the SEC is like, no, you're not that. You're this. And mainly for Robinhood and Coinbase, the government approved them to do these things. It's not like these people are trying to do anything malicious or not. From the they did everything the right way with the path that's handed forward, and they're doing this in the sense of, oh, we're protecting investors, right? Which, okay, thank you for protecting investors after FTX, after Celsius. When were you protecting investors then?
Yeah, where were they? What were they doing?
Great job. Like, you're doing a great job, right? You're going after the ones who haven't done anything wrong to anyone, who haven't stolen money, who haven't defrauded, but you're not going after the ones who have done all those things and been caught red-handed. And people have lost their life savings, millions of dollars. It's like, what are you doing?
Obviously nothing right from the looks of it. Poor SEC. Poor
so there's
Gary
a
Gensler.
senator.
Poor Gary Gensler.
There's a senator. Cynthia Loomis. She's a very big crypto forward senator that we have, one of the few. And this happened back in May 1st. This was when they went after, because they also went after, I forgot the other company who was creating a specific hardware wallet. It was Samurai something.
Yeah, I know.
But they were creating, they were creating a wallet software. Similarly, that's why when they sent a Wells notice. I don't think it was to Consensus, but it was to MetaMask. And Consensus, who owns MetaMask, is suing the SEC for not labeling ETH as a security or not regulating it at all. So she tweeted back on May 1st. Her full statement was, "I'm deeply troubled by the Department of Justice hyper-aggressive argument that non-custodial software can constitute a money transmission service. This stance contradicts existing Treasury guidelines and common sense and violates the rules of the law. Agreements against self-custody software threatens the fundamental property rights that are core to being an American. I will do everything I can to fight for your rights to hold your own keys and run your own nodes." And then that picture, there was that tweet, and then after that tweet was a Bitcoin picture of a Bitcoin, and she goes, "Come and take it."
She got to be careful.
Which,
She might be labeled a terrorist at some point. She says stuff like that. That's a joke because
yeah, it's
so I don't know if you're aware of this
or not,
but the FBI had a list of flags leaked, flags that were considered hostile or malicious entities, like associated to hostile or malicious entities groups.
Okay.
And there's just one flag there that's associated with, like, it's pretty much a pro-guns group that says, oh, their like key motto is "come and take it." That's their key motto.
Gotcha.
It's like "come and take it." So they put up that flag, or people associated with that flag, as like a hostile criminal type entity. So it's like just there. At least
the Bitcoin flag is gonna become.
Yeah, from my perspective, all I'm saying is that they're not saying anything straight up malicious. They're just advocating for their right to bear arms.
I wouldn't say that just yet. I will say, yeah, exactly. You let him give me a statement. I wouldn't say that. He doesn't know enough about the group to say that.
That one's particularly a hot take, in my opinion, because "come and take it" does.
Alex finds out the group.
Specifically with guns, "come and take it" means like, let's see what happens.
I know what it means, but you don't know if the group itself has done other things.
Yeah, I don't remember the group is the problem. I just don't remember which group it was. It was a domestic here from America. But nonetheless, if she's saying, I mean, I'm glad that Senator Cynthia Loomis is advocating for the right to own your own keys and have your own node, because that is freedom of speech to a degree, Bitcoin, and yeah, we can't like just surrender our freedoms so easily.
Yeah.
It's reassuring.
But that's all. But that's where we are at this point.
With government regulation.
Yeah, that they don't know what to do, and they're just.
No, it's a complete shit show over there.
And then she also has tweeted in the past when Coinbase was sued last year about how is the SEC going to be suing companies for not following their guidelines when they're not providing clear guidelines to how it should be done or should be regulated or what should be the processes.
Yeah, of course, because the thing is, the SEC wants to regulate crypto, or wants to say that they could regulate crypto, but they don't know how to regulate crypto. So they can't provide any specific information to these companies without making a mistake and not knowing if they can or can't, or B, surrendering too much freedom away from the SEC and into the companies. Like, they're trying to be as cautious as possible, but I think that caution is just backfiring on them completely.
I don't think they're being cautious as possible.
No,
if they were, they wouldn't be suing every other company that comes to existence.
Well,
that's not cautious.
That's desperation. But in terms of caution, like I'm saying, like what the regulations that those companies should be like following.
I can't. I won't agree with that.
Like it's on two separate ends. On one end, they're being super cautious in terms of like, we can't tell you what you can and cannot do. Like you just because they don't know, and they don't want to overstep and like not necessarily overstep. They don't want to overturn too much power. Versus on the other end, where since they don't have any clear information, that they're being super hostile and aggressive, not cautious at all, and sending Wells notices to everybody. They're like taking two approaches that isn't working in their favor. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't think you can separate those two approaches when they're the ones who supposedly want to govern it. Is my issue.
I'm pretty sure. I feel like I just separated the two.
I don't like.
Granted, the objective is still the same. The objective is to govern and regulate crypto. It's just that they have two different operations going in terms of like, we have a legislative thing, and then like they need to come up with policies, and then at the same time, an enforcement where we need to enforce these policies. But that's where the disconnect it's coming from.
So I wouldn't use the word cautious. I would use the word lack of clarity. Because I don't think they're being cautious. I just don't think they're
they're not providing.
They don't have the information.
They're not providing clarity. But
so that's not cautious. They don't have clarity on what the thing is. I wouldn't say cautious.
No. So the reason why I'm saying cautious is because of their lack of clarity. Since they are not being clear and concise on anything in particular, they don't want to say anything that might surrender too much power away from them.
But I see what you're trying to say, but at the same time, like you're still going.
They're still going after them. Yeah, they're still going after them with enforcement.
Then there is no caution. Because caution wouldn't be going after them after the fact and still not being sure if what they're doing is or isn't.
Okay, ultimately, I feel like they're playing two sides, and their middle defense is not up to par. Like there's no their strategy just isn't working for them. Is what I'm getting at. You could agree that they're not being clear. You could agree that they're not being clear on what they're asking for companies on what they should and should not be doing. And then you would agree that they are taking action against these companies for things that they are doing or are not doing. And because of that, companies are now taking a stance back, saying, if you're going to come after me, we need you to be more clear on the others on what you're attacking us for.
I agree, but you're using the word caution. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's cautionary.
I feel like you're hyperfixating on the word caution.
But because you're saying something that's not accurate. Caution is, I'm going to take this action, but I'm going to make sure I'm going to take this action, and I'm going to give you these sort of guidelines, but I'm going to do it in a way where I'm still protected. Well, what they're doing is not that, because they're giving zero guidelines, and there is no way of them being protected, because they're losing on one end, and they're still losing on the other end.
Okay.
That's the
so I feel like
you could be right. I could be hyperfixating. I'm not gonna deny this.
So what you're saying isn't particularly wrong either, but that's risk mitigation, and that is a part of caution. It's just that's caution done right. The thing is, they're not even doing that. They're doing their caution wrong, completely wrong. It's like
I'm gonna be honest. I think you're using the word caution in the wrong sentence right now.
Whatever.
20-minute rant on caution.
Well, whatever. Yeah. It like I said, it's not working for them. I'm just gonna forget about the whole caution thing, William. I'm just gonna say one thing. The SEC's approach to this whole
what they're doing is not working.
It's not working, man.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I agree.
Thank you. Anything to get away from the word caution. I still
You're
don't
the
think I
one
was.
who told
I
me
don't.
you got-
I still don't think I was wrong using it though.
Off air because it's not worth having on camera.
That's what I'm
but-
saying.
But the word caution is not right now.
Okay, well, guys, if you were watching this, let us know what you guys think.
Who's right? Is Alex right? I'm using the word caution, or is he wrong?
Or is it just like some type of miscommunication?
Or-
bro, and not
Or we're both being stubborn on our points of views, and we don't want to, and we don't want to concede. Also, very possible.
That's very possible. That's very possible for sure. You said you didn't want to talk about Bitcoin anymore, but
We gotta talk about Bitcoin either way, right?
yeah,
Don't we
yeah.
always?
Yeah, we always gotta talk about Bitcoin either way.
Oh, before we get to Bitcoin,
Okay,
before,
okay.
because I didn't want to bring this up, but then you said the word caution, and then I was like, fuck you.
Okay,
So on top of that, don't you find it funny how everyone wants to govern how we do things with crypto differently? But so like IRS says we're gonna tax it this way, but SEC still hasn't said what it is. And then the FTC says, oh, Bitcoin is a commodity, so we're going to tax Bitcoin as a commodity. But then the IRS is just going to go ahead and tax all crypto as whatever they want and be like, no, if you make money on it, you owe us money on it. You get an airdrop, you owe us money on it. But in that same sentiment, you could say airdrops are securities to a degree. Or ICOs are, or pre-sales of airdrops are securities. So how are you going to tax me? You want to tax me on money that the other side of government is saying is illegal, or the way that we're getting is illegal.
Well, first of all, the IRS is always going to try to take money away from whoever they can. That's for sure.
And also, the IRS doesn't have to go through Congress or anyone to make these like new changes.
Yeah, they just do it themselves.
They just can do it.
They have too much unfeathered
Right?
control.
But then the way the U.S. government as a whole spends its money doesn't matter. They don't get audited, but we do.
Yeah, yeah. The IRS doesn't audit the actual people who spend the money.
Right?
The big entity.
Yeah. And I saw Warren Buffett talk about this because we're already on topic of government and IRS and all this whole fun stuff. He gave a 800, I believe this was, I don't know if it was 800 billion. I doubt it. I think it was 800 million check to the IRS for what the company, from what Berkshire Hathaway made. And he said, with this check, if every large company paid their share, there would be no need for income tax, capital gains, like just if the top, or if all the companies paid their share, whatever. And he says everyone should want to pay their fair share, whatever. And I saw this debate between gold and Bitcoin specifically, and this I forgot his name. Damn it. Well, all he said was the reason this. I forgot this dude. I forget names, bro. God dang it.
You're usually pretty
He's
good
an
with
early
names.
crypto investor. I am. I can find them. Look it up for me as I talk. It's from the debate with Rand,
Okay.
the blonde dude. So essentially, was the older gentleman who lives in New York, pays about 50%, 52%, 50% of taxes. He told the blonde dude, the reason you're against regulations, he called him a liberal. He goes, you're against regulations, you want zero government, and you don't want to pay any taxes. You just want to use money for whatever you want. He goes, but you should want to pay taxes in any country you live in, because that is your fair share. That's whatever. And I feel like the older generation is saying just tax us, right? Or just pay your fair share of taxes, versus the point of you should want to pay your taxes as long as it's being spent properly for the most part. Or not even spent properly, that we know where it's all being spent in, ideally. And that if you want to spend more, you have to tell us why you're spending more. because we currently have an issue with our tax system, not even tax system, taxes period, that we can't tax what we owe at the rate we're going. By next year, if rates do not drop, we're going to be paying $1.7 trillion in interest. We've said this multiple times. Our taxes will only cover that to an extent. We're just printing money. So it's like, yeah, we're not against the taxing. We're against the fact that you're taxing us, but you're still imploding the money.
Imploding the money, spending super frivolously, and just like there's no accountability either. So like there's no assurance that like what we're actually paying is going where it's supposed to be going
and getting done.
Yeah, so I feel like people are too scared of the IRS or anybody that has anything to do with our funds. Like they're like, oh, they spend the money. It is what it is. No, it's not what it is. What it is. Stand up. Stop being a little scared ass.
Well, also it's because the IRS does go after you, and they can freeze all your assets, and they can do a whole bunch of things.
The IRS.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just because they can.
You know what else they can't freeze? Crypto assets.
Bitcoin. Yeah, but it's hard to make that statement because you also live in America where
they can't freeze.
No, not the crypto. No, not the Bitcoin one. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm talking about like the things you use. Like they can shut your water off. They can.
They could definitely make your life a little bit harder. They can't shut your water off.
I don't think about harder. I think they can make your life a living hell.
Shut your water off?
I think so.
If you pay for water, they just shut your water off.
Son, it's the IRS. I don't know what they can and can't do anymore. They got guns.
That's ridiculous. Why do they have guns?
Because they have agents who go to houses to collect.
People are trying to take guns away from the police, and now they're trying to give guns to the IRS. What type of world does that make sense? In what type of world does that make sense?
I don't know. So my entire point of that rant is to say, no one here is against. I'm not against paying the taxes, if they were used for what they're saying it was used for, and we knew where it was going.
100%, I totally agree.
And if there wasn't the misspending we have, you can't say tax me more, or I can't be like, oh yeah, go ahead and tax me, when all the taxes, for example, the Pentagon failed its 5th audit in a row since they started being audited. There's $5 billion missing. That's taxpayers' money. That's an issue.
That's a lot of taxpayers'
I can't say tax me more. Yeah, I can't say tax me more when Nancy Pelosi, all these other, I don't even know Nancy Pelosi, but every other politician is over here trading on the stock market, making hundreds of thousands of dollars with insider information that they're legislating.
I think,
and not getting fined for.
If they're allowed to do that, then they should have no salary.
Right? At this point.
No, that's obviously not.
Can't
the right
say taxing more when there's lack of infrastructures around the country in other parts.
Yeah, 100%. So I found the names. So on Team Gold we got Noriel Rubini and Peter Schiff.
Noriel was saying the tax thing to continue.
And then the Team Bitcoin we have Eric Voorhees and Anthony Sacramucci.
Sacramucci.
Yeah.
Noriel was telling what was the first guy? The first
Eric?
name you said? Eric. He was telling Eric that he's a liberal and that he wants no government, and that Anthony and Noriel was saying that will never happen because you need government, because there is some sort of government oversee to make everything work. Well, I'm not saying government. I'm not saying here. I will also say America's government is probably a nicer government compared to others to a degree. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying America's perfect. I will also say there's other countries that are way worse.
Yes,
that's a very fair statement to say.
So I found out recently that
let's be clear on this.
Rand in South Africa says that 90% of days there's power outages.
Yeah,
for like an hour, 30 minutes for anywhere from 30 minutes to like two hours. He said.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That sucks.
That sucks.
Garbage
big
infrastructure.
He's like,
In America, you'll never have that.
He's like
In most large cities, unless you're in California, because you know why? They suck at spending money.
and then on the other hand, we have what's his name? So I don't think, like, if you're saying that Noriel was telling Eric that he's anti-government and just like pretty much like an anarchist to a degree. We have Elon over here. They asked him, "Oh, who do you think is gonna be president in like 2037 or something like that?"
What?
Or like yeah. They asked him some weird question about like I think it might have been. They asked him who do you think is gonna be president this coming election, but he goes, "Oh no, that's not the right question. You got to be asking." He's like, "The question is, in 2037, which AI are we going to be voting for to be president?"
God damn.
And then, like, the thing is, systems tend to change with time and tend to improve, hopefully, or definitely tend to change. And with the advent of technology being as advanced as it is right now, with so much advancement going on in so little time, that's the real question, is like, how is this going to change politics? How is this going to change communities and economies? And what are we going to be doing in the future to keep up with all of this? And I think for the most part, even for the people who are the crypto anarchists who say, "Oh, like, we don't need government," to a degree, we will still have that governance, because we will have some systems in place to keep some type of order just maintained. And that's what people don't really understand, in my opinion. If you catch my drift.
No, yeah. No, I do. Yeah, no. You always need a government to oversee the body of people because it's just so large. It's just more so the amount of overreach, the amount of control, and what they actually do. Make it so that what we pay them or what they take or whatever, it's being used correctly and for the right reasons. Don't just, the solution isn't always tax more.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Not.
Like
it's
never that. It's a two-headed solution or a two-headed problem. You can tax more, but you also have to cut spending. Yeah. It no matter how you play.
Yeah,
you can't just say I'm gonna tax more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you gonna say?
Throwing money at the problem isn't always a solution.
No.
It would be nice if that was the case, but that's not the case, because you could be throwing money at the problem.
We threw a lot of money at the problem, and it hasn't solved anything.
It doesn't do anything.
And also, this isn't saying right or left. This is just saying over the general board. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
What a rant.
Yeah, I see. So, before we wrap up, there's this huge event. Whatever. Bitcoin just reached its 1 billionth transaction 2 days ago on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. 1 billion transactions. It's a whole lot of transactions.
Solana has 140 billion, but okay.
Yeah, but Bitcoin's much slower with him. You know that. You know that.
Every Solana hater, and Solana freezes every other weekend.
That is true.
I will say one thing. It is slower. I'm not taking anything away. 1 billion transactions on one of the biggest chains that is as slow as it is, with the least amount of usage on top of the chain itself, is impressive.
That is true. When you put it in context, it is pretty impressive.
Like you don't build smart contracts on Bitcoin itself. There's not much you can do on it. So it's just literally, this is just money going one way towards the other for the most part.
Well, actually, right during the halving event, there's like this new feature for Bitcoin that just came out. It's called Runes. It's kind of like a continuation of the BRC20 and the ordinals thing.
Gotcha.
That's part of the reason why transaction fees shot up like crazy and transactions just blew up.
Yeah.
So it is supposed to be to a degree some type of smart contracts enabled on Bitcoin. But granted, it's not Bitcoin main chain, but still considered to a degree by some people Bitcoin. And
gotcha.
Transactions for runes were, I think, like around 800,000 transactions per day when they first launched. But recently, on May 5th, it dropped down to 304,000, 306.
Wow.
Yeah, so it has significantly decreased overall from its launch.
6% almost.
Yeah, and with that also, since transactions are slowing down, miners fees have also dropped down. So transaction fees for Bitcoin were ranging around $40 per transaction. And now they dropped down to about $10 per transaction.
I saw a thing that miners are going to have to start selling Bitcoin at $80,000 to break even, or to make to stay as profitable as they are, or to break even. It was one of those two. So the thing I saw was Bitcoin would have to get there. The time frame needed to get there is going to be a lot quicker than what we think. So that miners can stay profitable before they all start shutting down, and then that'll create a whole thing on its own.
Yeah, so miners are starting to feel that having
an effect.
Yeah, go in, and they're kind of like trying to scrap on by for as long as possible before they have to sell some Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Or more Bitcoin than they'd want to, at least. And then additionally, kind of stepping away from the Bitcoin transactions in terms of miners and stuff like that, we did have a huge whale do a massively large transaction.
Okay.
So this was posted by Vivek For Real on Twitter. A whale did a transaction of 687 Bitcoin.
How much?
687 Bitcoin. Let me pull up.
Well, okay.
Large amount. I think that's 44 million. Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up really quickly to get an exact number. Yeah, $44,224,000. He paid a whopping $2 transaction fee.
Yeah.
And this whale particularly has been holding his Bitcoin, and he bought at way back at $2.
Yeah, this isn't just a whale though. This is one of those wallets that were untouched for like 10 years, right?
Correct. Inactive. Completely inactive.
Yeah, very important information to add there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these dormant wallets are starting to wake up.
Yep. So it's not just that it wasn't lost. It wasn't just it's just a completely dormant wallet. He hodled from $2 all the way to $65,000.
And he moved it. Does it say where, to an exchange or just to like?
No, it's another wallet address.
Gotcha.
But I don't see.
Because whoever bought at $2 and still held it, I would take some profits. I wouldn't take profits if I don't need to, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's $44 million. You could take $200,000 off that. Live off the year perfectly fine.
Like I said, depends what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
if you want to live a regular life,
it depends on what
you want to live a regular life. You can sell. You need to sell 200,000. You're gonna get taxed 30% on it. Well, no, 20% in this situation.
I don't even know. Why 20%?
Yeah, you get taxed like. Well, it depends where he lives, but like if he does pay capital gains tax, if he wants to cash out for actual dollars, right?
Yeah.
This will have to be reported. So assume he sells it, it'll be 20% because it's a long-term holdings. Assume 20, depending on his income and everything else. Like 20 is a safe number.
Well, to be quite
so
honest,
he'll get to
that guy could retire.
44 million. Yeah, but like we said, if you don't have to sell it, don't.
True. I mean, it's definitely motivating. It's motivating as hell.
Yeah. Oh, back to that debate I talked about between Peter Schiff, Noriel, Anthony, and I forget the other guy's name. Unfortunately, Eric. Why is that so hard to remember?
That's what I'm thinking.
I think of his last name. That's why.
Voorhees.
Yeah. So it was an interesting point Eric made at the end. This wasn't the whole point. This was my takeaway from the point. More so was he was telling Peter that early in the day, back in 2013, early on, he goes, it was on Bitcoin to prove or to show that it is a. You don't have to put the phone in the camera's face.
I'm super sorry. I had to send a text.
You can use it, just like you're just like that.
I'm super sorry. It's just like I'm not used to this setup yet.
So essentially, Eric was saying to Peter, like, it was on us, on Bitcoiners, to prove that Bitcoin is a store of value, a currency that is these things. It was on us to show that it will hold, it will burden these wicks down.
Eric is the one who said that.
Who's saying this? Mm-hmm. He goes, that's no longer the case anymore. He essentially tells Peter, he goes, it's on you guys to disprove that we are wrong. And that either way, no Bitcoiner is going to tell you to come over. You don't want to accept it, don't. We're not going to. If we have the alternative now, we're going to use the alternative either way. There is no need to live on the other end of that side. That's basically what Eric said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was having a conversation with a Bitcoiner here, local. And we were talking to a non-coiner who was just kind of like trying to get into it, but didn't really understand. And he mentioned something about it's a specific, like, I think it's like a game theory type of definition or term, where if you have two currencies, where the one that you're going to end up spending and using more is going to be the one that has lesser value, because you don't want to forfeit or give up the one of greater value as easily. So that part of the reason why we still see a lot of transactions being done in US dollars or in any other fiat currency is because compared to the hard asset that is Bitcoin,
it's worth less. It's always worth less.
It's worth less. It makes more sense to spend that rather than spending Bitcoin. Which kind of like, I was like, that is an interesting way of putting it. It's like, it's not that the other assets that the other currencies are going to just die off. People are still going to use it. It's just whatever's left over, people are going to use to buy the
Bitcoin,
the better currency. Yeah, Bitcoin. And I kind of said that when we had a conversation with Alex Miranda about how it's like, I will not be selling Bitcoin. He said, I don't think it makes sense to sell Bitcoin for cash long term, where that's just as an asset that holds value, Bitcoin is the king.
Yeah, that's 100%.
But yeah, I would say that it's no longer. I would agree with Eric. It's no longer on Bitcoiners to prove that we are a store, that it is a store of value. It's more so on anybody else who disagrees to disprove it.
Yeah.
Like,
so I had. You had something else. I had. You had something else to add.
I was gonna say, like, Bitcoin has been noted as the best investment asset in the world for the past 12 years. There's nothing that you could invest in that will give you, besides at this point right now, Nvidia, but that's just short term. Like longer term, like Bitcoin is really killing the game.
I'm gonna have to go against you on that.
Okay, but I said besides Nvidia.
Only reason. Yeah, we said short term.
Well, Nvidia's been doing good for like the past 3-4 years.
I will only say no to that because it all depends on how much more computing chips we will need as we go on. If that demand stays the same and there's no other competitors being no other real competition being produced, it will still continue to see the uptrend it has, just out of natural supply and demand
for sure,
at this
of
current
course.
stage.
Of course.
That's all. That's my only caveat. Not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I wouldn't bet against it long term either.
Yeah. That's a noteworthy caveat. Very noteworthy.
Because you can also say, rendered decentralized GPUs will also be getting into play. So it also depends on those.
But still, you still need GPU.
You still need the chips that still come from mainly NVIDIA and
correct. Intel,
AMD. So it also depends on all those other factors. Just a little caveat. You're not wrong, but sprinkle of salt.
True. Okay, as you were saying about the other thing.
I had 2 more videos to show, but I don't know how long we've been going for now.
An
hour. I don't know if this is getting tangenty.
Hour and 8 minutes.
Okay, so we got time. You want to see them?
Yeah, I'll see them. Show me what you got.
Or you got stuff to do? Yeah, I'm gonna show. Screw your stuff. Watch. Look at this. So this is the one I want to share. It's this one. Tell me if you can hear it.
No, I don't hear it. I heard something, but not. I don't know. I don't think so. No.
You only heard a little bit?
No, I didn't hear. No, I didn't hear it. No, so I think what's happening is that the audio is playing through your earpods, and that the audio is picking up from your mic.
Because I should blasted my ears.
Yeah, I figured. I had a feeling that was gonna. When you told me to look for the debate, I started playing the YouTube video, and I had no idea what you said for a solid 5 seconds because I was like, oh shit, this is loud.
Okay, so we're gonna do this a different way. I'll just tell you about the video. So essentially, they're talking about this app that Jack Dorsey, I'm not sure if he created or he endorsed, but he talked about on a Bitcoin stage, right? He goes, all you really want to do in life is you're in a circular economy, a creator economy is what he says. So I'll read the tweet itself. So this is from Bitcoin News. The circular Bitcoin creator economy finally exists. Step 1, make a dope post. Step 2, get zapped Bitcoin for said post. Step 3, buy tacos with said Bitcoin. Step 4, repeat. So as the viewers are seeing the video, all they really do is they show the post that the dude created and how he got zapped for it, meaning he got paid, he got sent Satoshis. And he earned enough Satoshis to go to a restaurant. This is all in Costa Rica, by the way. To go to a restaurant, buy some tacos for $10 for that said post.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's the creator economy being created.
That is a creator economy.
Which I just found that cool, in itself of that. The application, just for everyone listening, I'll have the link down below, is called Nostr. It reads, a decentralized social network with a chance of working. Learn about Nostr, a simple open... Huh?
We talked about Nostr before with Ray. With Jay, my bad. With proof of work fitness. So Nostr is a protocol. It's for notes and other things and other stuff transmitted through relays. That's what it stands for.
Yes.
But you still need some type of client to interact with it. The one that I use is...
So, yeah, you can set your clients, and you can also add other clients by the ones they provide.
Correct, yeah. You could have a variety of clients.
You are right. We did talk about it with Jay. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, reiterating. And also that it's working to a degree.
Yeah. Nostr definitely works. And
which all these things will be in the BIOS, by the way.
The majority of people who do use Nostr do happen to be in Costa Rica. Oh, well, a lot of people in Costa Rica use Nostr. Yeah. Yeah, because they have a Bitcoin jungle.
The last... Mm-hmm. What's that?
They have
I'm
Bitcoin
because I had never heard of that.
Bitcoin jungle is kind of Costa Rica's version of El Salvador's Bitcoin beach. There's just a community of Bitcoiners over there in Costa Rica that are setting up Lightning payment channels and onboarding local vendors, local restaurants, laborers, of anyone who produces some type of goods or service, and just trying to get them to accept Bitcoin through Lightning.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I want to go visit. It seems cool.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, because I've seen videos of Costa Rica and how they have street vendors with Bitcoin Lightning, like QR codes to receive Bitcoin.
Yeah. If you go to Bitcoin Jungle, I don't know if it's .com, but look for it, Bitcoin Jungle. They have a map of all the locations over there that accept, and I'm telling you, it's actually pretty like ample. Like there's a lot of people over there accepting Bitcoin. An app that shows you a map that shows you all those people, and then also a couple of like lodging, like hotels or like some type of inns or Airbnbs that like are part of the community, and people who are Bitcoiners tend to go there.
So this dude is in Kenya, and he paid with Bitcoin to go buy KFC.
No, KFC.
And he didn't KFC. He also didn't even use like a wallet or an exchange, nothing. He used a text message.
Oh, the
we
same
talked
dude
about
from
this
the text messages.
before. No, it's a different dude.
Oh, different
But
dude.
they also use it. Yeah, different dude. So all they did was he just like got the KFC number, put what the amount he wanted to put in, how much money he was going to place, pretty much from what I understood, and then all he did was just send over. They go, oh, these satoshis are available for 365 days. Once you use it or you make your order, you can then just send that voucher, show it to them, and you just get it, pretty much. The viewers will have the video here, like showing what it is.
That's
pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That's cool.
Similar to like probably how El Salvador could probably do it with their Starbucks that accept Bitcoin and other forms. Well, it's legal tender, so it's even easier.
Yeah. That's fun. That's exciting.
But I just find it cool how these other countries are using it, and like America and like the West is being so slow and like super regulatory about it, whereas other countries are like, you know what? Well, we got nothing to lose. We're just here.
I mentioned this though. I was like, I don't remember if it was on camera or if it was off camera. That the people who benefit most from Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies is really developing countries.
Yeah.
They're the ones who have the most to gain.
I think it was both. I think you said them both.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just say that all the time.
Yeah.
In terms of banking the unbanked, ease of transactions, potential for storing values, it's insane. So, yeah.
All right. Lastly, I don't know if you saw this, but you know how it's been graduation week for all these schools the last couple weeks, right? Or last couple days, more so. So this guy, I don't remember what school it was for. Let me see if I can find the school. Okay, so this is from Bitcoin Magazine. It will be down below. This is Ohio State commencement speaker talks Bitcoin in front of 60,000 people. So essentially, he was telling people buy Bitcoin. It's going to do X, Y, Z. You know what the response from the people were?
What?
They booed him.
I had a feeling that was going to be the case.
He got booed. And it's one of those things is like, and everyone in the comments I saw were like, let them be not financial free. Let them like whatever. And it's just like,
have fun
dude,
staying poor.
We're still that early. It's Michael Sater, half of the same poor, brokey.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things like,
still
if we're here, this will go somewhere else. Yeah.
I mean, also, like, I kind of don't necessarily blame them. Like, I might have booed a little bit too. It's like, bro, like, this is commencement, like, graduation. Like, no one wants to hear about Bitcoin. Like, there's a time and place.
I'm sorry, but my commencement speaker gave an entire speech about artificial technology, changing the world, and what he wants to do after college. I think it's fair.
I think I gotta watch the video because I think that the context is kind of important. I'm saying it's like technology does advance, like things do. People talk about whatever up there. So yeah, we're still early.
That's all I got.
Well, if you guys made it this far, thank you. We appreciate you.
Hopefully everything's a little better. We're still working on the angles for like looking at the camera more. At least I am. So I'm trying to look more at the camera because it just feels weird looking at the camera but not looking at Alex. So we'll figure something better for this.
Yeah, we'll with time. Do time.
Like, subscribe, follow.
What he said.
Like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell, leave comments.
Leave us some comments, guys. We love the comments.
And we hope to slowly progress this new setup we're doing.
Yes.
Until we get like A1 again.
100 times better.
100 times better. At this point, we might have earlier episodes. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you guys for tuning in.
But with that, sometimes crypto.
Your favorite crypto podcast.
What? We did that so bad. What? I heard
something. Bye.
See you. Bye.